you able to hear me?
Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir, I can hear, sir. Shall we get started, sir? Yes, ma'am, Maria, ma'am, let's get started, ma'am.
Yes, sir. Okay,
Let's
sir.
get started.
A very warm good evening to one and all present here. Welcome to the day 3 of ATAL 6-day faculty development program on high performance computing, transforming research through advanced technology. I am thrilled to introduce Dr. Vellingiri, Associate Professor, School of Computer Science Engineering, Vellore Institute of Technology, who is the resource person of this session. Dr. Vellingiri stands as a prominent figure in the realm of computer science and engineering with a particular focus on data analytics. His academic journey, marked by a master's degree and PhD in Faculty of Information and Communication Engineering, has laid a solid groundwork for his extensive research contributions. As an associate professor grade, Dr. Vellingiri is not only a beacon of knowledge for his students, but also a thoughtful leader in his field. His innovative approach is exemplified by his
Hello, sir.
patented work in applying consortium blockchain to manage data in mobile health environments. Moreover, his recent scholarly work on the Internet of Things showcases his commitment to staying at the forefront of technological advancements. Dr. Vellingiri's influence extends beyond the classroom, as evidenced by his impressive H-index and I-10 index underscoring the impact and the relevance of his research within the global scientific community. We are very happy to have you here, sir. He will now address a session on applications of HPC in scientific research. On behalf of JIT, I once again extend a very warm welcome to you, sir. I now hand over the session to you.
Sir, Vellingiri, sir, you can take it forward, sir.
Hello, sir. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir, yes, sir, we can hear you.
Hello.
Yes, sir, we can hear you, sir. We can get started, sir.
Sir, உள்ள right.
Sir, not audible, sir. Vellingiri, sir. Hello, sir.
Yeah. Very good evening to one and all. Very sorry for the interruption. Okay. The thing is that today's session, myself, I am Dr. Vellingiri. I'm working as associate professor in VIT Vellore. Right. Completed PhD in Analysis Chennai in 2012. I have the teaching experience of around 18 years. Right. Today, I'm going to discuss about the applications of high performance computers in scientific research. I think the last couple of days you are in this FTP, right? High performance computers, right? So I think no need of given introduction, but anyhow, I cover what is meant by high performance computing, right? So, okay, yeah, I give you just brief, right? So, Yes, we all know, right? High performance computers is combination of powerful computers and used for the parallel processing techniques, right? So generally, right, whenever we hear about the term high performance computing, we just wonder how it is different from distributed computing, right? So small differences. Computing, no, it's not required the requirement of specialized hardwares. Requirement uh, of computers, right? With requirement is a loosely coupled one, right? Computers, distributed computing, right? But high performance computers is tightly coupled one, right? Need to be tightly coupled and a very hardware specific ones, right? So other might wonder what is the difference between HPC and supercomputers. Actually, supercomputers is a subtype of high performance computers, and in supercomputers is just your individual HPC or might be a single node among the HPC systems. Okay, so distributed computers and supercomputers. Okay, so these we uh, applications applications areas of applications this SPC used. Right. Actually, typically we have I have some mic issue. I'm not able to hear your voice. If any question is there, you can type in the chat box. Okay. Right. So there's a small difference between PC, supercomputers, and distributed computers. Right? Cluster computers, loosely coupled, DC is tightly coupled. HPC supercomputers is a kind of subset of HPC. In the HPC nodes, supercomputers is one among a node. Okay, right? Subset. HPC subset is a supercomputer, right? Right. And in USA, I use one of the most famous PC in okay. Let not going about the HPCs used in other countries. Some of the HPCs are used in okay. A lot of HPCs are used in uh, uh, scientific labs. Most famous are I listed here. Param. Okay, it is used in Center for Development of Advanced Computing, Pune. Mainly, they're using this Paramsidi AI for drug discovery and cybersecurity, and as well as for NLP processing. Okay. Then one more SPC they used in IIT Roorkee. Okay, the name of Param Aram Ganga. They're using for bioinformatics and machine learning purpose. Okay. Let's I give some few examples. Okay, so Param Brahma they're using in Indian Institute of Science Education Research in Pune. They're using this mainly for molecular dynamics and computational for the material science. Okay, and for Vikram 100, they use PRL. Okay, Ahmedabad. It's majorly they're using for space science and astrophysics and as well as planetary research. Okay, so listen, application has is very vast area. Okay, within a certain time, we're not able to cover all applications. Imagine I try to cover maximum applications we're using HPC. Okay, high performance computing. Right, and I think the last yesterday sessions they might cover about fundamental software setups they using for high performance, right? So just to give you a small recap. Okay, so specific hardwares required. As I already mentioned that in for distributed computing, specific hardwares might not required. Okay, it's a common node as well as local nodes, but as well as in the high performance computings. Actually, okay, the term itself. Okay, we are going for some improvement, enhancement, right? So it's obviously we required need to strengthen the hardware as well as software required to support HPC, right? So they're using high performance processors, right? Intel Xeon is one very famous HPC processor, and as well as GPUs, it tends to use HPC, and they're using specialized memory, DDR4, DDR5 RAMs, okay, for doing more high performance computations, right? Especially Google, especially product for TensorFlow, right? TPs, okay. As example for specific hardwares, they're using for high performance. Okay? And as well as hardwares, some softwares also especially required to back up the uh, hardware stuff. Okay, a couple of examples, lot of software there, right? So practically, I also not exposed to very kind of software stuff, right? So quietly, so without having that hands-on experience, see, it's very difficult to feel actually, okay, how it works. See how it works in the sense how actually behaves, and they see working is different, and we are searching information is different, right? Right. So some famous hardware learn, okay, as used for job scheduling purpose. And the Gramax is specifically using for molecular dynamic simulation, and our famous TensorFlow and PyTorch. It's most popular, we know, right? For integrating deep learning into our HPC, right? And ParaView, especially, it is used for projection, means visualizing of data sets in the HPC context. Okay, so these are some famous softwares being used in the context of HPC, right? And this setup, of course, mostly I not include the slide for operating system. What kind of operating systems required? Actually, mostly high performance computers most rely on specialized, specialized in the sense they mostly use Linux based operating systems, right? Because compared to Windows one, mostly it's used for Linux based operating systems. Okay, now getting into our today's topic, how HPC matters in scientific research. Okay, see, scientific research, it's such a gray area. Okay, we can't able to define that this only is a scientific research. Okay, so day by day as our requirement grows, see, before 4 or 5 years, even medical industry is not involved in this much of research, right? So after medical industry grown lot, right? So it's, due to requirement, we are forced to use high performance computing for our day-to-day applications. Day-to-day applications, day-to-day high-level applications, right? For especially topic is covering scientific research. First point is accelerating computations. Yes, we need to find a solution fast. Okay, so since a solution fast, solution we need to get first, like we are medical field developed the COVID vaccine within 1.5 years time span of time, right? Any future in any viruses hitting future, they want to find a solution very fast, right? I come to that, right? How HPC used in the medical sector, I in detail. Like for accelerating computations, we need to fast the computation, and we want to handle a large amount of, obviously we all know what is a large amount of data, and typically unstructured and all those. Okay, now to handle that, we want more strengthened computing backup infrastructure. Then to complex simulations, once again, complex simulations, it particularly useful in the medical sectors as well as in the defense sectors. um, this term is very much used. I will cover one after another. Then enhancing the predictive analysis, one of the predictive analysis itself, one of the vast area. So in order to go high accuracy prediction, need to rely on high performance. Then of course, at not least at for supporting the collaborative research. Okay, so people's from various part of the countries want to share their information, share the data, and for do the computations. These high performance computers are very much useful. Okay, um, first four is mostly important than the last one. Okay, supporting collaborative research. Then application has been in scientific research. First one, as I mentioned, is very much useful in the medical sector. So I started with the medical sector. Um, Discovery and HPC, like how HPC is used in drug discovery, okay, medicine discovery. See, generally, before a decade or so, in order to find any kind of medicines, they do the lot of lab experiments and they uh, uh, try to find out the solutions. Okay, so it is in lot of laws, including human laws, right? And lot of experiment they need to carry out. So instead of that, nowadays they tend to use high performance computers for doing like um, how each and every drug molecules integrate with the corresponding target proteins. Okay, how the particular medicine is after inserting to the patient, how that particular tissue is behaving, everything. They nowadays they're actually simulating with the use of high performance computers. Okay, uh, uh, it's particularly very much useful in order to generate uh, medicines quickly, right? So and that's time consuming as well as avoiding difficult lab experiment stuff. Okay. Then with the use of high performance computers, we are able to integrate AI and machine learning into the medical setup. Okay. So with that, we can able to analyze drug properties and its corresponding potential side effects. Okay, so without say everything, they're able to simulate it by using high performance computers. It helps to identify the drugs fast. Okay, as I mentioned, the COVID-19 vaccine is they able to find out within 1.5 years or so. In future, any kind of viruses, definitely the use of high performance computers is irreplaceable, right? So not only this, a lot of stuffs are there, right? Not to treat the cancer disease. Okay, so nowadays we are not checking the drugs with the patient. Okay, instead of that, they are simulating it using high performance computers. Okay, how the given how the body is reacting, everything they try to simulate thanks to high performance computing. Like as a key applications of high performance computing in the drug discovery, COVID-19 vaccine development, it's very much used, HPC. Then to prepare the cancer therapy, okay, especially very difficult to treat cancer, we know, right? We can't able to figure it out physically how the body reacts to the medicine, right? But by using HPC, we can able to simulate how this medicine is curing the particular cancer tissues, right? Then in order to build the antibiotic resistance of bacterial resistance, it's very much useful one. Okay, so it's very vast area. Once again, applications of HPC is vast area in that, especially for medical domain, its usage is very vast. Okay, so I just given some small intro. So I go to subsequent applications. So before that, just conclude benefits of HPC in the medicine discovery. Cost reduction, of course. Okay, we don't want to check with the drug with the patient, or it's reducing lab experiments. Faster time to market, obviously. Okay, Then improved accuracy by simulating. Thanks to simulation of direct moleculars, we can able to find better. We can go for medicine with better accuracy, and as useful for personalized medicine. For example, Asian peoples have some separate some kind of physical and DNA. For other countries, people having some kind of physics, right? Their metabolism differ, right? In order to figure it out, for which, okay, for that, this HPC simulation is very much vital. Then, since the benefit by using HPC in the medical sector, also say we have people scientists face a lot of challenges. For example, managing diverse data sets is very difficult, right? So data complexity issues there. Then resource availability obviously is not only a problem with this particular medical applications. In all applications, HPC infrastructure is huge, and algorithmic challenges because diseases are evolving, right? Like that, we need to evolve the algorithms. Right? We know now COVID-19 virus is muted n number of times. Okay. On algorithm is finding the particular disease. Next time that algorithm might not work. We need to go for some advanced way to refine the algorithm, right? So these are some common challenges HPC facing in this particular medical sector, right? So I move to second application where HPC in space exploration. Compared to like medical, for space exploration also, the usage of HPC is very vital, right? Nowadays, see, every country is very much advanced in the space science, right? Space research. So they are relying on the HPC for better results. Like, for example, simulating the space environments. Okay, like in space we have different conditions. If you want, if you are launching a satellite, how it's going to behave in the according to the condition in a particular space context, that we able to simulate by using HPC. And see, this solar storms always a challenge for the spacecraft, and we can't able to predict, okay, how it's going to impact our spacecraft. Sorry. So in order to simulate that, HPC is very vital. Okay, by using HPC, they are simulating the space environments, and in order to strengthen the spacecraft according to the challenges it's facing. For that also, we are using high performance. We rely on the high performance computing. So it is giving better propulsion, communication, and life support systems for the spacecrafts. Okay, and not only that, HPC is useful to develop the rocket engines with reduced fuel consumption. Okay, so for that also, they are using this they depend on this high performance computing, right? Because a lot of because of lot of data are there, a lot of real time data are there. Okay, so we need to analyze that. Scientists depend on the high performance computing stuff, right? Then see, all related, right? Because it's space exploration. In order to analyze astronomical data, right? Because telescopes, we know, okay, lot of largest telescopes around the world, it's generating a lot of data lively, right? So in order to capture the data generated scopes, we need high performance computers, right? In order to mapping the galaxy's evolution also, scientists depend on HPC because, okay, trillions of data are generated. Okay, so in order to capture all those data and uh, figuring out, okay, we are required the support of high performance computers. And Okay, similar to that, mission planning and see, it's the same context only. In different times, I just given different title actually. Mission planning and navigation, we know, right? So simulate the possible mission scenarios, right? Like Mars rover land, okay, our Chandrayaan 3 landing, okay. In order to simulate that, they use high performance computers. Okay. So with that, they can able to project the trajectory of the spacecraft, and they able to simulate how much gravitational forces going to be applied on top of the spacecraft. Okay, and then how much fuel efficiency is required for the spacecraft to land successfully. Everything that to simulate everything, we are relying on the high performance computers. Then, and in order to study, once again related only, studying planetary formation and evaluation. Okay, so for that also, how the uh, uh, planets are formed. Okay, day by day they invent new asteroids. Okay, and how the formation of planets and moons, right? And now to account the gravitational force between the various planets, right? Not to account, in order to find it out, right? See, we are getting the news, right? This asteroid going to may hit Earth in 2035, 2045. Right? How they able to predict all those thanks to these high performance computers? Okay, because of huge amount of data is that they can't able to predict simply by using standalone systems, right? So they need to feed all those data, what the asteroid position is right now, how it is going to move, how it is going to move after 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, how it's going to change its direction. Now to calculate everything, they're relying on these high performance computers. Okay. As I told, it's a very gray area, very vast area. Okay, so in order to cover everything is difficult. And see, most of the things you might know, right? This I just going to I just giving a insight only. Okay, so later on, if I want to explore any particular application, otherwise so many faculties are there. If you want to give any particular research problem to your student also, you narrow down in a particular application. Right? So benefits of HPC in space exploration, and first one, cost efficiency, known to explain. So virtual simulation and everything is cost efficiency. Then as well as time optimization, of course. Okay. Then of course risk reduction, simulating failures and everything. Okay. No need to explain these terms. It might understand, right? How cost efficient if you use HPC in the space science. So we move on to the third application. See in climate science. Okay. So in order to predict the climate in future, they depend on this HPC, right? So they first they used to model the climate called as an global climate models. Okay, GCM. So GCM is all about how the Earth atmosphere and ocean, land, and our Arctic place ice are in stack with each other. Okay, so we used to simulate those effects. You know, we are here, right, in Arctic and Antarctic ice is melting day by day, right? How it's going to affect our human lives and other animals' lives in future. Now to simulate that, they depend on this modeling. Okay, right? So predicting is used to predicting global temperature changes and sea level rise. We used to hear this term, right? Sea level rise and extreme weather events. In order to calculate this climate modeling is thanks to high performance. Then weather forecasting, of course, to simulate short-term weather pattern, right? In order to predict long-term weather patterns, analyze billions of data points from satellites and weather stations. Okay, for that also they use high performance computers. And also it will helps in gives timely warning to the peoples, right? Especially those who are living in Chennai, they very much used to this, right? Saves lives and property through timely warnings and helps in agriculture and aviation and as well as disaster management. Okay, if you want to dive deep, you focus on one particular application. Okay, since it's a common platform, able to tell what are the applications are there using SPC. Climate modeling, weather forecasting, and third one is studying extreme weather events in order to simulate high resolution models and explore influence of climate change. For that also, they're relying on these high performance computers, most all related only. Then, so in analyzing ocean atmosphere, right? How create SPC models, okay, how heat going to affect the ocean, sea level, right? How the uh, heat, moisture, and gases between the ocean and atmosphere are interacting. So in order to simulate all those, we need a high performance computing as because we know, okay, a trillion of data is there, right? So in order to simulate and process, we need to depend on high performance computing. Okay. So some real-time examples: hurricanes prediction, Arctic ice melting, as I said earlier, renewable energy forecasting, and for agriculture and food security, they're using this high performance computing. Then, of course, the benefits: improved accuracy, very much is that, faster computation, almost same to all thing, better decision making. Okay, so very better decision making sense. Um, in order to create a warning to the particular peoples due to natural disaster, this is very much useful. Then it will helpful for enhanced collaboration as well. Okay. Then once again, it's required a lot of in order to use HPC in this climate modeling. A lot of challenges are there because data, once again, data set is very diverse. Okay, so ocean data, see, it's very diverse data set. In order to integrate all this is not at all easy. That's why it's challenging to scientists, right? Then once again, computational cost is huge. Then even though whatever the computation we are making, there is a probability of uncertainty, okay, on the input data as well as the corresponding prediction, okay, and as well as still it's a SPC is still an evolving area only. Okay, it's not in third world countries. In third world countries, using of SPC is minimum only, and not like in developed countries like USA, Japan, right? So scientists see if our peoples want to use SPC in most of the applications, skill level of the peoples is as compared to the first world countries. Okay, so that's one of the challenges there. Then fourth application, how SPC is impact in the finance and economics. Okay, obviously very interesting context, right? Um, in it's mostly in India, they're not much using SPC for finance and economics, but in first world countries like US, they're using SPC for finance and economics. It's used to design financial market simulation, right? So, for example, US election is there. So they may predict once Trump comes into power, what might be the US is after 4 years. Okay, if not, what is going to be after 4 years? Not to feed lot of data and not to analyze. To not to go for the final prediction, simulate financial markets, model in the behavior of assets, how it's going to be, right? So for that, it's very much useful high performance computers. Now, for example, favorite example, risk management in the banks. For example, banks is going to give a credit to a particular company. they rely on these high performance computers to predict, okay, whether this giving loan to this company is trustworthy or not. Okay, so for that also they're using HPC, first world countries. Then and they're using for high frequency trading, right? So in order to make a quick difference, for example, someone is giving an order to a particular product. Okay, suddenly with that product consumption, people are looking for to purchase some other product, right? The HPC will predict that since people are purchased this one, right? After 1 or 2 days, they're likely to purchase this similar kind of item. Okay, this kind of predictions HPC used to give. Okay, so these are see the marketing or change time to time, right? So not to make quick real time decisions, they're relying on this PC, right? So high frequency trading, uh, decision making especially, they are relying on high performance computer for faster decision makings, right? So how to give offer, right? Those kind of stuff. Then and risk analytics and portfolio management. Okay, Monte Carlo simulation, portfolio optimization. You hear about the term, right? So Monte Carlo generally a technique you are using to model a probability with the different outcomes to the uncertain condition, right? So condition is uncertain. We can't able to accept the input. If the particular input is there, then the corresponding output. If not, what the corresponding output, right? So in order to model the uncertainty of the market, they depend on high performance computers, and in order to form one particular portfolio of company, better portfolio, they are depend on high performance computers to balance the risk and reward effectively. Okay. Then credit risk modeling, as I mentioned, not to give a credit to any particular company, they used to figure out what is the risk level to give you a see it's a uh, for example giving a credit to the very big company, very big amount, the banks need to analyze their risk involvement. So for that, they depend on this high performance computers. Okay, so it's called as credit risk modeling and macroeconomic simulations. For example, to calculate the GDP growth, unemployment, inflation, and interest rates. Okay, to simulate everything, use of high performance computers is white. Okay, as well as predicting the current economic trend and the future economic trend. Uh, Scientists, researchers are dependent on the high performance computing. Okay, so overall, it's helps in to form better economic planning and gives better crisis prediction. Okay, so fifth applications of high performance computers is social science and urban planning. Um, for example, in order to develop a particular city, uh, and okay, how to segregate the drainage, right? And food consumption, right? This supply chain management need to be predict. Then only we need to go for the go for proper development of a particular city, right? So for that, um, first world countries, okay, depend on this high performance computers. Okay, so first one, social network analysis in to see nowadays every person in the home, okay, having 4 or 5 social media account, right? So what is the trend right now across the social in order to analyze that? uh, Companies are using these high performance computers, okay, identify the trends, uh, uh, identify the relation group of people, individual, okay. uh, for example, in Vellore, most of the working professions are in two group, one from as a VIT employees, other from the CMC employees, okay. For if Amazon gives particular, for example, I'm telling you, if Amazon gives offer, if VIT declare holiday for 10 days, the generally faculty like to spend for some trip, okay. So they try to give some offer, right? So they try to analyze the trend for the particular group of peoples, right? For example, Pongal holidays is coming, okay, Christmas holidays is coming. What the peoples are tends to do, okay, they try to analyze the patterns. They relying on high performance computing, identify trends and patterns of a particular peoples or group of peoples across social media. Uh, Companies depend on this high performance computing. Because why is required in the sense? Because huge amount of data, right? Trillions of data, and we need to make a decision quickly. Okay, so all about not giving offer is giving offer for at the right time for the right product. Okay, so not to make a decision quicker, they are depend on the high performance computers. For examples for this option dynamics and crisis management, for example, how options or beliefs, behaviors are spread in a society in order to figure out that scientists and companies are depend on the high performance computer. For example, any kind of rumor is come since, for example, US government is changed. Okay, so after US government changed, gold price is going to be hike by 10,000, or gold price going to be reduced by 10,000. For example, is a belief across the people in the case how it's going to be influence the overall market. Okay, how this belief is spreading across the peoples in order to calculate that high performance computers is very much useful. And in order to manage a crisis, for example, uh, in order to simulate, for example, any crisis games. Okay, for example, any country put nuclear bomb to a particular city. If we alert the particular group of people, how quickly they going to react? Okay, of course, the same city people can't able to react. Nearby city peoples, how they going to be alert? Okay, so in order to simulate the kind of crisis scenarios, scientists, governments depend on this high performance computing. Okay, so help to analyze how peoples are responding, right? Then other usage, demographic studies and population modeling. In order to simulate how peoples are going to migrate. See, nowadays, see, for example, we getting some information. 20% of Mumbai going to last next 20 years. 15% of Chennai going to last in next 15 years. Like that, we are getting some, right? For that, see in the scenario, how people going to migrate away from those sites and where they going to be there once it happened. They need to analyze everything. Okay, so in order to simulate that, high performance computers is very much used. And for scenario analysis, like how the future growth will be there. Okay, for example, there's a sex cadre ratio is there. So now female ratio is or compared to male ratio. How it's going to be after 20 years? How going to be after 30 years? Right? So, in order to analyze those things, depend on this high performance computers. Okay, so in order to model the future population growth and its decline, right? And due to this, what the impact is, in order to go for proper resource allocation, right? If any particular peoples are try to will migrate from this particular, say for example, people are going to migrate away from Delhi or Chennai, where they going to migrate? Okay, so they need to plan accordingly. They need to develop the particular area government. So for that, they rely on these high performance computers for better resource allocation and better social service planning. Okay, then in for criminal justice and crime prediction, on depend on this high performance computers in order to feed all the data and in order to find out the hotspot analysis where the crime maximum going to be happen, right? So especially vast countries like India, China, US, okay, it's very important to predict the hotspot analysis. Especially it's helpful during the public election times. Okay, where see it's time to is going to dynamically change, right? So in order to analyze that, the is usage of HPC is very vital in order to predict the crime trends. Okay, so what kind of crimes happened before, what is happening now, what going to happen in future. Depend on that, we can able to deploy the resources. Okay, instead of medical team or better defense team, we can able to deploy. Right? Then useful for, of course, if I'm a sentiment analysis, identify emerging threats, assess the effectiveness of policing strategies. Okay, so it's especially helpful for people to make government to make decisions. Right? So, for example, before 4 years, our government made some kind of decisions, right, in Kashmir. Like that time, they made some decisions, right? So if they make the decision, how the people reaction is going to be, okay, and they need to analyze when to make a decision, right? So in order to analyze all those aspects, the government relying on this high performance computations, right? So its major impact is to go for let's prevent the crime. Then, of course, smart city development. In order to optimize the urban systems such as traffic flow, energy reuse, and waste management. Um, so where they depend on these high performance computers. Okay. So any particular festival time, how the traffic going to be there, how the traffic can be managed, right? All these things in order to simulate this, we need this high performance computers. Then as well as the urban mobility simulation. Then for example, how peoples and moving across the cities, right? So in order to simulate that, they required, especially we know in festival time, a lot of peoples are moving to their hometown, right? So in order to simulate the traffic and hazards people are facing during the time, uh, especially abroad countries, they're using this high performance computation. Okay, and its major impact is efficient resource management and better sustainability. Okay, right, and as well as urban growth and land use planning, as I mentioned before, in order to simulate how to allocate a land for residential area, commercial area, and as well as industrial use. Okay, so those are living in Chennai, they might know, right? The land of residential area and commercial area issues. Okay, so any proper development they want to do, they need to predict it better. Okay, this is better for residential area, and this is for the commercial area. Like the not to government segregate the areas, uh, they need to depend on this high performance computing. Most of the developed countries are using this. Okay, even now, see in India we started to use only for the essential field we are believing, okay, like government and scientists are believing, especially for we are using for medicine, okay, and somewhat for the defense systems, right? Still, HPC need to be developed further in India, okay, but in abroad countries, they are almost using for a lot of purposes, high performance computers, okay. So if they use that, they can able to predict the better population growth, how it's going to, for example, the particular city population, what is going to be after 10 years, 20 years. Okay, then they able to calculate how it's our current GDP, what going to be our current GDP after 10 or 12 years due to the effect of this particular uh, growth, right? Then for predict environment constraint also, we are using the high performance computers. Okay, then my sixth application, how HPC using for environmental science. Okay, so mostly all are related only environmental science, especially in order to monitor the deforestation. Okay, then deforestation and land use change. Okay, satellites are sending a lot of images. Okay, so from that we need to make a clear decision, right? Um, Analyze the satellite imagery and monitor the changes in the land use, right? It's very much HPC role is very vital, right? Because whatever satellites is going to send is all are high resolution images. So with that, in order to process those high resolution images in the real time, uh, we need to depend on this high performance computers. Okay, so especially uh, for fish farming also, they tend to use the satellite images mostly in the abroad countries. Okay. Um, Due to the by satellite sending high resolution image, the HPCs used to process those, okay, and predict the growth of the fish, okay, and especially for deforestation controls and making the better policy decisions. Then pollution modeling and air quality forecasting in order to model the pollutions in the atmosphere, like wind speed, okay, various emission sources. We need high performance computers for better simulation and better prevention. Then for real time monitoring and for the real time forecasting, we depend on this high performance computers. Okay, so especially for the air quality levels. Okay, and not only air quality, mostly air quality they using HPC, and as well as water resources. I come to that water resources, quality of water resources. Okay, now to analyze those by using satellite images, we are using um, high performance computers. Okay, then climate change impact assessments. Okay, so now to simulating Earth climate system, then uh, uh, how due to this earth climate system, how it's going to increase the heat waves and how it's going to increase the storms, in order to calculate everything, in order to simulate everything, we depend on high performance computers. It's mostly it is generally used for reduce the disaster risk reduction. Then, as I mentioned, water resource management and hydrological modeling, how it works in not only, as I mentioned, is not only for the mention the air quality, in order to mention the water quality, because drinking water is one of the challenging issues. Okay, so mm, in order to monitor the drinking water quality also, most of the developed countries using high performance computers. They take the images from satellites, high resolution images, and is analyzed whether this water resource is polluted or not. Okay, and as well as checks the availability of the water in the water reservoirs. Then HPC in the advanced computing research, um, it's how HPCs enable AI and machine learning. How it's HPC supports, okay, AI and machine learning training. For example, now to go for the model training, right? How HPCs are used. 1 minute. Yeah, HPC is used for better model training for AI and ML deep learning stuff. Then it's used for, of course, okay, it's used for large scale data processing and as well as parameter optimization. And in order to handle the big data in a better way, we are using high performance computers. Okay. So, for example, Google DeepMind uses SPC as well as self-driving cars require the use of high performance computers, and as well as for the, because self-driving cars in order to simulate, it requires a lot of data, right? So that you have to simulate all those data in the real time for testing and training purpose, right? In order to run the complex AI training, they depend on high performance computer, and as well as in order to make a NLP model, in order to train and test that, it's use of in order to train this LLMs, we required high performance computers. Okay, then HPC in cryptography. Now to design cryptographic algorithm, not algorithm is stronger against various cryptographic attacks. In order to simulate that, we depend on high performance computers. And in order to generate stronger cryptographic algorithms, public cryptographic algorithms, tends to depend on high performance computers. Okay. Then next applications for HPC, energy and renewable resources, right? For example, for wind and solar forecasting, it's easy to model. 1 second. Yes, for wind and solar forecasting, HPC models used to predict wind speeds and solar radiations, and of course, for nuclear fusion research. Okay, so in order to general before even India checked the nuclear energy at early 2000. Okay, physically, right? So nowadays, HPC allows this nuclear test also to be simulated. Okay, thanks to these performance computers. So no need of testing it physically nowadays. Okay, most of the developed countries using nuclear uh, um, testing by using this HPC simulations, right? Um, so, for example, real world example, to the NREL, National Renewable Energy Laboratory, uses this HPC to simulate wind, solar energy generations. Right. Next one is automotive and aerospace engineering. Right. In aerospace engineering, scientists use HPC to check the crash simulations and as well as in order to build a strong aircraft. Like previously, we talked about spacecraft, right? Even it's supported the spacecraft. Definitely, it is more advanced to use in the aircraft design, right? So, for example, in order to check in the crash simulations, right? So, various of flights are flying, across the globe. So in order to check the crash simulations, okay. For example, Middle East zone is always very sensitive nowadays. Okay, right? Last decade or so. So, for example, on country, a particular aircraft flying across the route, they will suddenly some scenario happens. How they going to tackle it? Okay, so in order to simulate those, they depend on this SPC, and as well as for better aerodynamic simulation. For example, how to see. We are hearing a lot of aircraft models now, Rafale and everything, right? So how they're developing that high advanced aircraft in the sense they're simulating using high performance computers. Okay, less fuel. We need to fly longer time. Okay, with less risk factor in the sense need to fly uh, the away from the orbit range of the radars. Okay, so in order to calculate everything, they depend on the high performance computers to model airflow around the aircraft to optimize the fuel efficiency as well as design. Okay, then for example, companies like Tesla uses SPC to simulate the crash scenarios. Okay, you might Google it how Tesla uses SPC. You might give a number of articles. Okay, then Boeing and Airbus simulates the airflow and air wings in order to go for a better engineering design. Okay, they're using high performance computing. Okay, then I give intro to all other applications quickly. Okay, 4 or 5 applications I will cover up. How of SPC used for neuroscience? In the example, in order to simulate brain. Okay, brain simulation and modeling. Right, as we know, now, brain is more typical uh, tissue. Okay, most typical organ in our human body. Okay, in order to understand how the brain works is very difficult task, right? So how it's going to react, how it's going to uh, react to each and for example, one patient affected from the brain tumor. Okay, since we medicines or some kind of help, how how is the brain neurons going to behave? Okay, so in order to simulate that, we need high performance computers because it's once again lot of data, lot of sensory data. Okay, so molecular, cellular, and network levels. It's a very demanding one. Then, as I mentioned, like the Parkinson disease is one of the famous stuff we know, right? So in order to do better treatment for that, uh, blood countries using this HPC, rely on high performance computers to simulate the abnormal brain activity and how it triggers, how to trigger that for the better treatments. Okay, Parkinson disease. Okay, you might Google it. Uses of HPC for Parkinson uh, affected persons. Okay, you might give a number of resources for it. Right. Seismic data analysis, especially for oil and gas exploration. Once again, government scientist uses the help of computers. This used to simulate seismic data for local and gas reservoirs, right? So, in order to see generally, what's the HPC role here in the sense to visualize underground structures, right, and oil reserves. For example, in oil resource in a particular earth position, they try to figure out what is the possibility of oil reserves if this particular underground structure matches in other part of the earth. Okay, so in order to simulate that, they require not to simulate and predict that, they depend on the high performance computers. Once again, huge amount of sensitive data. Okay, for that only they are using. Okay, for last slide, like simulating the geophysical properties of different geological. We required this high performance computer stuff. Okay, the seismology and the earth science, obviously, for propagation modeling. Okay, how the sea waves are behaving. Okay, due to various factors like earthquake, okay, tsunami, okay, how the sea waves are behaving, what is its counter um, events, okay, not to predict everything. High performance computers is very much useful. And earthquake hazard assessment, especially simulation of ground motions, resolutions, how the earthquake is, where it's originated, how it's migrated across the path. Okay, so in order to give us a simulation of ground motion, okay, resolution, okay, they depend on the use of high performance computers. In order to go for earthquake monitoring system also, they depend on these high performance computers. Earthquake predicted area, likely areas. Okay, so in order to predict that also, they depend on high performance computers, and it is used for groundwater, as I already mentioned. Okay, so simulating water flow and the transport process in complex terrains. Okay, and to model that groundwater level, right? Is in order to predict water level in the future, right? So for example, one industry is going to be started in the one particular urban area. So the effect of the groundwater due to the particular area. Okay, so in order to doing all these stuffs in the real time, we are requiring high performance computers. Then at last, I finished this final application. Defense and national security. Okay, our country is using SPC in defense and national security. Okay, um, our country also using, right, defense and national security. For example, see all our sensitive data, government data. Okay, uh, how good it is across cyber security attacks, right? In order to simulate and predict that government are using our SPCs, high performance computers, in order to analyze the network traffic, in order to neutralize the cyber threats, malwares, and intrusion attempts. Okay, then in order to go for military simulations and trainings, right? For example, they predict vulnerable part. Uh, for example, where the war likely going to be happen between any particular two, for example, India and China, in which particular place, they used to simulate that, and if so, what is the consequence we face, right? I mean, they need to see. Generally, all the countries are doing nowadays in a the the war training, right? For example, if they're doing the simulation that if the war is going to happen in this particular area, what the challenges we going to face, right? Whether it's going to apply affect our food necessary supply to our soldiers, right? And so in case if we lost in that particular place, the particular war in that particular place, what is that counter reaction? Okay, so in order to analyze all these stuffs, most of the governments now depend on performance okay, so in order to go for better military operations, tactics, and strategies, they're using high performance computers, and weapon system design and testing, simulating the missile strategies, trajectories, explosion, and dynamics. Okay, they're using this high performance computers, especially India having the Agni 3, right? Say, I hear the news. It's actually it is in order to hit the target. It will not go in the straight line. Okay, it will travel in the zigzag line and hit the target, right? So, see, uh, generally, if any missile, we will initially think, right, it will go in the straight line and hit the target. Suppose our counter attacking that, how is going to manage that? Okay, if we travel in the zigzag way, no one able to counter it quite easily. Okay, so see this. Well, this is actually the solution of high performance computers, right? So they're finding out the solution, right? So in order to mm, nuclear weapon simulations, as I told, no, not to avoid physical nuclear testing, governments are using high performance computers simulation, right? Uh, Nuclear training. Then logistics and resource optimization, as I told, if a defense context, suppose any war happens, how it's going to affect our supply chain. For example, you might know, right? If war happened between India and China, even though India has army compared to China, India always having the upper hand because India able to cut down the fuel path, sea route path, where the ships are supplying that oil to China, right? So like that simulations we able to do using high performance computing. So how it's going to affect our supply side, and how we going to go for better operational planning, and how is going to go for better disaster response. Everything government able to simulate by using high performance computers. And last, missile defense systems, as I talk about our Agni, right? Trajectory predictions. Okay, how is going to hit the target, right? And how it going to process the radar signal processing, because of course radar is going to send trillions of data uh, each every second, right? So in order to consume those, in order to analyze those, the government's defense system using high performance computers. Okay. So thank you, sir. The small insight into HPC in uh, various applications. Okay, if we want to focus on any particular applications, then you look into it. Okay, so in the given time, it's not possible to explain everything more than that. Right? So, Sir Venkatraman, sir, that's all from my side. I think till still audio is I'm not able to hear your audio.
Sir, can you hear me, sir?
Sir Venkatraman, sir, that's all from my end, sir.
Any doubts or questions, sir? Participants, any doubts or questions? Hello. Dear participants, thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thanks for your time. And dear participants, let's take a 5 minutes break and then again let's have the second session started. Okay. Thank you. Let's wait for a 5 minutes break and then let's get a second session started in another 5 minutes. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Velingiri sir, for your time. Thank you, sir.
Yes, yeah, okay. Thank you for the opportunity to the coordinators and our AICT. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Mahadevan, sir. Hello, sir. Mahadevan, sir. Mahadevan, sir, can you hear us? Hello, Mahadevan, sir, can you hear us? Can you hear me, sir? Hello, sir. Very good evening. Thanks for coming for a session. We can get started, sir. Mahadevan, sir. Today we are having our day 3 second session, and Mr. Mahadevan from Senior Manager Data Science from Cognizant Technology Solutions would be continuing his topic today. Thank you. Sir, the session is yours. Please take it forward, sir. Mahadevan, sir, we are unable to hear you. Can you just check your mic? Just a minute, participant.
Hi, very good evening to you all.
Hi, sir. Very good evening. Now we can hear you, sir. Let's
Okay.
get a session started, sir. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. So yes, just wanted to apologize for joining in late. Trying to connect through a system, but due to some technical issues, connectivity issues, that I have to join through mobile. Sorry about that. I did try my best to connect through the system to share the content as such, but looks like it is, for some reason, it ain't working. Uh, so in the interest of time, I would like to start off with the session. And before that, I would like to understand the level of understanding, so that I can address this crowd accordingly. Right? So, I just wanted to understand, at least not everybody, like I know there's a huge forum. We have like close to 50 people attending this session. So, I'm just trying to understand the current knowledge that you possess or everybody in this forum has got so that, I can take this session accordingly. So, the topic that we are going to discuss today is the most happening topic in the world. Wherever you see in LinkedIn, in any meetings or sessions, any kind of conferences, IT conferences that is happening around the world, this word is the most commonly used and most frequently used word, which is AI. I just want to understand, what is the it's at a beginner level or advanced level or an expert level understanding that you all have, so that we can take it forward accordingly. So just not everybody, a couple of people, if anybody can unmute and let me know, like so that I just want to get a hang of the crowd that I'm addressing today. So just wanted to understand that. So if somebody can volunteer and let me know, so that I can pace my session accordingly. Anybody want to unmute and let me know? Am I audible to everyone? Hello.
Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
What you are exactly expecting, sir?
Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks, Balasubramanian. It is basically I'm just trying to understand the current knowledge that this the participants in this forum has got with regards to AI, so that we can pace the session accordingly. So I'm just trying to understand, uh, you know, if you have gone through modules with reference to AI, and if you know the introduction of AI or where to start with, so that I can pace my session accordingly, right? So I just want to understand what is the level of understanding when it comes to machine learning and AI of the participants in this forum.
Fine, sir. I'm basically from artificial intelligence and data science. So we have studied many of the topics, and also people are from other departments like ECE and other IT and other thing. You can give a brief introduction, and then you can go on other topics, sir. Maybe a brief introduction about
This
it.
helps, Balasubramaniam sir. Thank you so much for setting, for letting me know the participants in my crowd. So see, for a speaker, we need to know what type of audience that we have, right? So just to get a basic understanding of this, so this helps. Thank you so much for letting me know.
Because everybody have the general awareness about artificial intelligence and machine learning. So just
Okay.
give you a brief introduction and you can go depth with the applications, sir.
Definitely, Balasubramaniam.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
And yesterday, since I had to jump off from a different call and join in late, I just wanted to first introduce myself to this crowd. I know that from your college, right, it's already been done, but I just wanted to share more information about myself, right, and about my organization that I work with. So I'm from Cognizant Technology Solutions, and I'm from Data Science Department. Having said that, I've been around in Cognizant for more than 18 years now. So my experience revolves around almost all the departments within Cognizant. So be it if I have done a lot of roles within the organization, be it HR, be it program management, be it artificial intelligence, be it the automation teams, the robotics automation, the RPA, and all of that, right? So basically, I have been into different roles and I've played various roles within the IT department. And right now, I'm in a team where we use a lot of latest technologies, right? So So I will, that's pretty much about it. And I know everybody knows about Cognizant. It is a, Fortune 500 companies. We are a service provider company, and we have been listed among one of the 200 list of companies, to people like to work with. So that's that's about Cognition, and we have footprints around 140 countries, and we are expanding our business in Americas, and we are exploring our GGM market, global growth market, where we call it as Europe, Nordics, and all those regions. And also, we are currently expanding our footprints in tier two cities within India, because we understand where our Gen Z associates are from. So basically, to address the problem, right, that we have all the major IT companies are located in tier one cities. So to ensure that we get the right set of people, right. So we are planning on opening a lot of new offices in tier two cities like Visakhapatnam, be it Gujarat, and if you take Tamil Nadu, we have plans to open centers in Tiruchi. So there are a lot of that's again, it is going to be a futuristic thing, but I'm just giving you a heads up that there are a lot of changes happening in and around the organization. So that's pretty much about myself and Cognition. So let me not uh, waste any more time, get into the context of today's session, right? So basically, today I've been asked to take a session on HPC in machine learning, uh, ML, and artificial intelligence. So basically, I would like to start the session with an agenda with regards to a introduction on Gen AI. So so we all know what artificial intelligence is, because the word itself is self-explanatory. So for those who are not part of the IT department, I would like to explain that. So basically, what we are trying to do here, is that to reduce the human intervention, right? To reduce the human intervention in any possible areas of business, to ensure that that accuracy and and the speed at which it has to be done is dealt by machines. So we would all agree that nobody can replace a human brain, because human brain is designed in such a way that we can think, we can come up with decisions, we can do a lot of things, and nothing can replace a human brain, which has got a lot of uh, a lot of energy and thinking the way we think. No machines can think the way human thinks. So no machine can replace a human being, as such. But artificial intelligence is something which we are trying to input in a machine, so that we can replace human brains using machines. So that is a simpler way of putting explaining artificial intelligence. Okay, so to give you an example, right? Yeah, I'm sorry, but somebody is themselves, so request you to go on mute, so that others can listen, and whatever that I'm saying is clear, loud and clear to everybody. Thank you. So yeah, what I was saying is that artificial intelligence is basically to put it across in simple words, a kid, right, when they see something, they see an image of an apple. I take an example of a fruit apple. When they see that apple is red in color, they'll be able to identify that after seeing the apple for few times, because the brain sends the message to the neurons, and they will be able to understand that it is apple. First time they see it, they create an image in their brain, and they then the neurons would send the message that make them understand that it is an apple. So they will come back, and next time when they see apple, they will know that this is apple. So that is one such example. So artificial intelligence is something that is you know that is put in a machine to act like a human, to to enact like a human, what a human does, This is to reduce the human intervention so that many machines can do a lot of repetitive jobs. By nature, we do jobs which are repetitive in nature. So what happens is if we replace that with a machine, right? We don't have to do that, because I know in most of the sectors, in various fields, industries, they have day in day out they'll be doing one thing, only one thing that they would be doing. So it might be a part of the process. So they would be doing that on a daily basis, which would again, there would be no learning in that, and there would be, people would definitely get bored, and they would want to scale up, and they would not be able to focus on it and pay complete attention. So to make their lives easier, we have, artificial intelligence is already there in the field, but now it has become the thing, the most wanted thing change in the IT industry. So artificial intelligence is basically, as the word says, it's artificially creating machines by feeding them a lot of data and making them understand and give out the inputs, the output that we expect. So basically, to give some examples, right, it is in diagnosis of diseases, basically from X-ray reports, right? Artificial intelligence can predict what kind of diseases a person has by looking at an X-ray report, and also it can predict, if I take real estate as an example, right, it can predict real estate prices in various cities within India, and it can give you an estimate price and to make a decision. So basically, I hope, this, I'm making it clear what artificial intelligence is all about. If you, it is self-explanatory. Like I said, it is replacing or reducing human intervention in any kind of work that we do on a daily basis. It's as simple as that. Uh, so that is basic introduction about artificial intelligence, and let's move on to ML, which would be a subset of artificial intelligence. When I say ML, it's machine learning. Uh, so so machine learning, is nothing but, we need to focus on, few algorithms and models to enable the systems, the computers to learn and make decisions and predictions. But the only thing that we have to remember is this is all being done without any kind of programming. See, usually, like any system, right? We have to, if we buy a new laptop, right? If nothing is installed in that, nothing is getting programmed or installed in that, we'll not be able to use it. So I think most of the people who would have bought new laptops, they would have faced this situation that they would not have, Adobe Reader, for example, to open a data, to open a file as such, a PDF, or whatever it is, like different formats that we have to read a file as such. So if those programs are not pre-installed in the system, we would not be able to use that system. So that this system is good for nothing. If Windows is not there, if Linux is not there, if any other programming language is not there inside the system, you will not be able to use it, because it's of no use with that laptop, right? So basically, what I'm trying to say is, machine learning is something which focuses on, algorithms and models, certain models, to enable systems to learn and understand and make predictions based on that, and without any kind of programming pre-stored in that device. Okay, so that is basically the difference between machine learning and conventional learning, uh, which again, we will talk about that in the later part of the session. So and so that is what machine learning is. Machine learning is nothing but we train a machine with a huge amount of data to ensure that, the machine understands the uh, the data, understands the data, and give us results based on the data. They do analysis and give us the results, expected results based on the data. So that is what basically machine learning is all about. So we have various subsets within machine learning, which is again, if we deep dive into machine learning, we have deep learning, which is again based on human brains, human neurons. Okay, which is again using data and computational power and with certain algorithms. It will, when we feed in the data, it will give you, if you it will mark that data into clusters, and it will give you patterns and trends as such. So for example, if I'm giving a set of data to a machine and asking it to do the computation and clustering of data and making it as a pattern based on the data, the inputs that I give, right? So it will bring in it will classify that particular data into clusters and patterns and trends, and it will ensure that whatever that I'm looking at, what are the results that I'm expecting, it gives that out the as an output. So like I said, deep learning would be a subset of machine learning, which would be a subset of artificial intelligence. So we will cover these in depth, in the later part of this session. But I just want everybody to have the basic understanding of what an artificial intelligence is, what a machine learning is, and what it does for us, and what is deep learning, so that you will be able to understand the next sessions that we are going to cover up. Okay, so it is, deep learning is something that we have seen now, and I'm going to explain in depth about deep learning, which is again, like I said, it is an advanced form of machine learning. So we know what machine learning is, right? It is basically giving in input data, training a machine with a lot of data, lot of previous data that we have, train that machine, and ensure that the machine understands what is expected out of it and gives the, the accurate output. Okay, so deep learning is again an advanced form of machine learning with 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 comparison to human brains, the neurons. And when we classify, or when we do a comparison between artificial intelligence and deep learning, uh, we would be able to understand deep learning is something in depth, and it is based on human brains, how a human brain works, based on neurons, right? We all have neurons are we all understand what neurons are, and neurons are interconnected, and it sends you the message what brain needs to know, and that is how we as human beings get to understand things, right? So that is the exact technology that is being used in deep learning. So neurons are multiple layers connected to each other to process information and to share it. So basically, see, when our brain understands something, and neurons would be the transaction which does the transaction to the brains, and it will send the message to the brains and make us understand certain things, whatever is happening around us. Likewise, we will have, in this deep learning is created in such a way that we have lot of layers connected to it. Like I say, when I say layers, right, it is a when I classify that layers into 3 or 4 sectors, right? We will initially, it starts with an input layer. Input layer is something that to get a better understanding, what do we give into that system, what do we feed into that system. So when we give the input layer, it will have a lot of hidden layers, which can be compared with neurons. So similarly, like neurons in the brains, we will have input layer in the deep learning machine, where it will have layer 1, layer 2, and layer 3, and then the output layer. So we will have this format of feeding in the data, and this format of algorithms stored into the system, which will transform into layers, and it will form layer 1, layer 2, layer 3, and then it will finally give the output to us based on the data that we feed in. So that is basically what deep learning is. So I don't want everybody to remember all of this, but basically understand this thing, which is very basic of artificial intelligence, is just that we are trying to create intelligence artificially. We are trying to feed in the machines to do our job, or not exactly our job, machines to interfere in our, excuse me, redundant activities, or monotonous things that we do in our daily life, in our work life. When I mean daily life, in our work life, whatever that is being repetitively done, whatever is being done on a similar pattern, that can be done by machines. We can train the machines and ensure that it gives 100% accuracy, and at a much faster pace, and it is going to be cost effective as well. So that is why everybody is eyeing on implementing artificial intelligence in all sectors of their businesses to improve the efficiency, uh, and the accuracy part of it. So basically, what what we have to understand is that artificial intelligence is here to stay, but it is not going to create it is going to create a lot of opportunities for job opportunities for upcoming generations. But the one thing that we got to understand is that it is going to make our lives better, so we have to embrace it, because change is inevitable, right? When it comes to IT industry, or in your day-to-day life. So change, we have to adapt it. We have to understand first, accept the change. We have to embrace it. We have to ensure that we adapt ourselves and embrace that change, and implement it. It's not only adapting and embracing the change. You have to implement it in your work life to get a better results and stay on top of the game that you're in. Be it So I believe most of our crowd is lecturers. So if you want to stay top of what the subject that you're teaching, you have to embrace technology. You cannot say that I don't use technology because I don't like using it, or no, I don't know how to do it. I don't want to spend time on it. I rather do it in the traditional way. That is also, I don't complain about it, but I'm just saying this is going to help you in many ways, uh, in reducing your efforts, human effort and time. So it is going to save a lot of time if you adopt technology and use it to the best. But one thing that you have to keep in mind is that the ethics and the way to use it has to be in a proper way, compliant to the needs, and the type of business that you're into, right? So you have to keep that thing in mind. So what we are learning today is that what artificial intelligence, how it can help to for our betterment of our work life, and how can we adapt it to ensure that we give our 100%, is what that I wanted to convey during this session. And so basically the takeaway is what artificial intelligence is, what machine learning is. So I hope it is clear what artificial intelligence is. As the word says, it is basically creating imagine a robo which has been trained to do a particular job. Like you must have people who are in Chennai. There is a restaurant which serves food using robots. So basically, so it is replacing a human there, and it is making our job easier in that way. So that is basically using artificial intelligence, that these things are being done. Right? So just understand that artificial intelligence is basically, as the word suggests, it is artificially creating, human machines to work like humans, and giving the exact output that we need. And the various subsets of that is machine learning and deep learning. So these are the subsets of artificial intelligence, and ML is machine learning, and the elaborate part of it is deep learning. So deep learning is something which is vast content, and which has a lot of when we have to look into deep learning, there is a lot of other factors and other areas that we need to cover, that we will cover it in our later slide. But I just wanted to take you through this. And so the basic understanding is, I hope you're able to relate what I've been telling about artificial intelligence. So once you start using the technology, you will be able to get better idea of it, and you will be able to implement it in your day-to-day life. Excuse me. Uh, so the next thing is, the next on our topic would be, excuse me. The next thing on our topic is generative AI, which is the thing of the future. So, so how many of you know what generative AI is? Or okay, okay. Let me not put that across in this forum. I would say it is different from conventional AI. So generative AI is very simple. But in the term itself, it says that it is generative in nature. So basically, the difference between conventional artificial intelligence and generative AI is that conventional AI works in such a way that whatever data that we give, right, it will fetch the result from the data that we input or we provide. So that is how conventional AI works. So it is not something which is bringing in new. It is basically giving us what is there, that is already there. But uh, unlike conventional AI, generative AI is something which is different from conventional AI, and it generates a new content for us. So that is what difference between conventional AI and generative AI is. So it's basically generates and gives the output. It creates and gives you a new content. So it is applicable in various streams, like be it data, or be it audio, be it video, be it images, right? You would have seen people who have seen these frequently in the social media, like Facebook and other mediums that we have, right? If you have seen, that there are a lot of pictures that is being circulated, and it says that it's not actually the actual pictures of leaders or movie stars or various other celebrities or public figures, right? These are all pictures not taken actually. These are all pictures created using generative AI. I'm making it in to make you understand it better. So basically, what generative AI does is that it creates new content, and gives you for example, if somebody is doing a presentation and you don't want your presentation to have spelling mistakes or incorrect information on it, right? So if we input, or if we use generative AI, it will give you the actual result that you're looking at, and it will help you create absolute great content for whatever purpose that you're going to create it for. So I just wanted to quote an example, like how many of you would have used Microsoft Copilot, right? So it is again an open source AI, where it will help you in framing, uh, summarizing certain things, the content that you want to create and share. So that is how Copilot helps. It will make you write statements, create content for various purposes. Like if you're a blog writer, right? Say example, if you're a blog writer, you want to write a blog, and you want to ensure that you don't create any kind of incorrect information going in there, because it is getting viewed by a lot of people, and you have a lot of followers, so you don't want to get that wrong. Excuse me. You don't want to put something which is irrelevant there. So you can use Copilot, which would definitely help you in rephrasing sentences. It will help you to change your context and ensure that if it's like more, making it more precise and concise for the audience to understand, like in pointers. So it is not like you have to read a long paragraph to understand the context. It will reduce the content, and it will at the same time, it is not going to replace anything which is very important. It is going to reduce the content. At the same time, it is going to help you convey the message to the set of audience that you're looking at, to convey that particular message that you want to convey. So basically what it does is, it makes your life easier in terms of using technology, and ensure that giving the precise information and the output that you're looking for. Okay, so that is generative AI, for us, for all to know. So there are like I said, generative AI being used in in chatbot, right? In chatbot, which is again, there are a lot of versions, paid versions that is coming up, like chatbot 4 is there. There's an unpaid version that is there, which is an older version. But the difference between the new and the older version is that excuse me. So whatever the data which has been in there, it will give you the results based on that. What I'm trying to say is that it cannot give you the latest information. When if you all have tried chatbot, it will give you whatever that you want to know. If you put it in precisely in a way they understand, it will give you the actual result. But if you try to give too many things at one time, and if you're trying to fetch the output, and if you go through that, right, it is not going to give you the exact result as such as you want. So I will give you an example. I'll quote you an example, right? In GPT, if you want to type something like what is the capital of New Delhi, it will say that I'm sorry, what is the capital of India? It's New Delhi, like everybody knows. So it will tell you that New Delhi is the capital of India. But the difference is difference between chatbot and the other robotic automation tools that we have been using in IT industry is that this chatbot is has the power remember conversational context, meaning to say, we have asked what is the capital of India, and it has told us that it is New Delhi. And after that, if you're going to type something like, say for example, you're looking at number of airports in New Delhi, that is the next question that you're going to type in, next text that you're going to type into chatbot, and it will precisely give you, it will understand that you're asking about the airports in New Delhi. You're not going to type New Delhi. You're going to the next query that you're going to type in is going to be, how many airports do we have? If you type in that, it will understand the previous content that you have asked, that what is the capital of New Delhi. So it will be able to relate that query that you have raised before, and based on that, it will run through, like I said, in the neurons, right? It will run through the layers, different layers, and it will bring the exact result that you're looking for. So every time you don't have to type everything in detail. So whatever the context that you're asking queries on, the system will by itself understand, and it will give you the exact output that you're looking for. But see, these chatbots, and basically these are being used by a lot of industries which are service-based industries, right? Basically in customer service and all of that. Like you would have already faced it, and many of us are using a lot of services these days. So if you want to complain about any of the services, be it your network, your service provider, your internet, or to your cable service provider, right? They will all have an application, and once you log into that application, it will not let you talk to a human being directly. First thing is it will be a chat bot. Uh, we name it whatever the company wants to name it, be it Alexa or be it John, be it Smith. I'm just taking some random names. So you will be able to that virtual assistant will definitely help you out with your basic queries. But if you ask certain queries which are like like which are relevant to the conversation, you must have had lot of details you would have given to that virtual assistant, but it will not be able to compare the previous information and share you the latest one. So whatever you're asking, it will answer. Like what? See, it will directly answer to your query. It will not look at the past information or past queries that you have asked before, and it will not remember all those things. But a human being would do that. If you're talking to a person, uh, you know, who belongs to that service provider, and you're asking queries to them, they will be able to relate it. What was your previous query? What is that you're currently asking? So they'll compare and give you the exactly what you are looking at, what the answers that you're looking at regarding your query that you've called in for or you're looking for, right? So that is the difference of conventional AI and chat GPT and generative AI. So generative AI has the tendency of understanding conversational content, and it will give you the results based on that, which is not available in conventional AI. So basically that's the difference that we have to understand, and there are a lot of updates happening with regards to generative AI, and a lot of industries are embracing it, and there are a lot of changes, and everybody are trying to embrace it and utilize it. Uh, for example, like in Formula One, right? We cognizant are sponsors to a particular Formula One team that we have, right? So we recently tried generative AI in that Formula One field, in car racing, and we have seen tremendous amount of results because uh, you know uh, there are a lot of data that goes into that, and a lot of it is very we have a short amount of time, but we have to do a lot of things within that time. Right, how if you have seen Formula One races, you will understand, how fast they do things and how fast they remove the tires and replace it. And it is all within fraction of second they have to do it because they don't have time. And technology helps out in a great extent, and that has been accepted. There are a lot of generative AI mechanisms that goes into it, and we are implementing that, and we have seen better outputs and results by using Gen AI technology in there, and they've embraced it, and a lot of other industries for that matter. I'm just quoting one example, but there are a lot of other industries which are eyeing on generative AI and trying to implement it in their businesses as well. So this generative AI is a vast area where it is going to stay for some time until we come up with until there's something else that is going to disrupt the complete IT industry. So change, like I said, change is inevitable, and every day we would be coming up with new technologies, and we will have to understand that and stay at top of the game, right? So likewise, this is here to stay until we get better version or better formats of other technologies that is going to come in the future. So basically, there are various other fields that have embraced and started using it, generative AI tools in industries. To quote an example, there is a tool which is being used in the human resource field, which actually you know that every organization will have a human resource department. Everybody would have dealt with that human resource person throughout your, I mean, in one time in your career, in your work life, you would have definitely met, not one time, multiple times, but yeah, people who are freshers, they would definitely get a chance to meet a person from the HR department who would do the induction part and all of that. So that is being replaced now by a generative AI machine. When I say machine, it's a tool actually, which does the induction part of before it was handled by a HR person. Now it is handled by the artificial intelligence team, a tool as such, which would what it does is that it will give you the introduction. It will get that person the onboarding part of that particular person or number of people that joining in an organization. It will take care of that, and it will also help address the general queries that everybody has. Especially the newcomers would have a lot of queries around leaves, what kind of role that they're going to play and all of that, right? Which location they would be and how many, what would be their hierarchy and which department they would fall under, excuse me, and what type of role they would be playing and what are the scope for, automation, learning, and all of that, right? So what I'm saying is various queries that was addressed by human beings are now being addressed by machines, which is making everybody's life easier. So imagine a person, a new joiner to an organization has a query, and he doesn't have to actually talk to somebody, just have to take his phone, type something there, use that, open the tool, type in there whatever that query is, and you will get immediate answers. Like within a fraction of a second, you will get to know what you wanted to know. You will get that answer, that particular query. So that is how simple it is to embrace the technology and to adapt that. And initially, see, and when you use the technology, right, it is going to be difficult. Initially, you would face a lot of challenges, right? When the basic challenge is the adaptation. People are reluctant to talk to machines, and they want to talk to human beings rather, because human beings understand emotions, machine doesn't. So to have that human connect, always you will have a person to connect to. But what I'm saying is, if it's a general or frequently asked questions, right? Nobody wants to sit and answer to bunch of audience or people who join newly to an organization. So they will, over a period of time, they will also get bored. So what they do is they try to find out alternative ways in addressing their queries. So, it has reduced the headcount in the HR department to a great extent, but at the same time, it is increasing the efficiency, because what happens in that. I mean, see, the people who have been doing this job for ages would be given a better role to play, and they will be able to focus on more important things rather than you know answering queries to the newcomers, or the focus. They can focus on various other things, like how to improve uh, you know the productivity, the utilization, and how to improve the efficiency of the workforce as such. How to make a workplace better. They focus on more important things rather than working on regular redundant jobs, right? So that is the kind of change that artificial intelligence is going to bring in any industry. So it is not going to, people would ask, right, when this technology has come in, there would be a lot of questions in various people, everybody's mind, that is it going to take away our jobs, what somebody is doing, because it is going to be done by machines. So why do I have to be there? So that is a question that everybody would have asked yourself, that what am I going to do next? Because I have been doing this for this organization, and that has been replaced, and it is a machine is going to take care of that. Like I said, it is definitely going to reduce the headcount, but not necessarily that it is going to uh, you know be a problem for creating futuristic jobs, because this technology, if anybody is going to learn that, and they're going to get into roles where they can play a major role, they can they can bring in a difference to the organization that they are going to work for. Right? So so basically, when we, because I was part of, the Gen Z team, the Gen Z hiring. So I've been part of this campus hiring that recently happened for our organization. I've visited a lot of various campuses like VAT, SRM, JPR. So what I have seen is that there is this generation, right? They're eager to learn a lot, and they have aspirations, and they're very they're very clear about what they want. And the expectation from the organization is that, right, that we are we are providing opportunities to the right people, right? So we have different categories that we hire people from, and basically, since I'm part of this initiative, like I said, I have been part of campus hiring for the past 2 3 years for organization, and we have gone into campuses, and we have seen met placement officers in various colleges, and we have talked to them, we have understand what their price is, and we have actually taken in a lot of people from various campuses, and generally what we see is that basically the aspirations of the youngsters, they're more technologically advanced, they're having what it takes to get into an organization, but the only thing is that they don't have the hands-on experience which is expected uh, from day one. Like, see, we will not be able to build them immediately because they would have not have the hands-on experience of working for a client in a real-time scenario. Because see, what they would have done is they would know the textbook language, but by the time they come out of college, right, 4 or 5 years of education that they've been given or provided in colleges, the content, the context is going to change, and by then there will be a newer technology that they have to upskill themselves in. So what I have seen is, from the experience that I have had with, when I had addressed a crowd of, campus recruits, right? What I understand from them is they're parallelly doing courses, while they're in their seventh or eighth semester, where they're they're doing courses on various coding languages, and like Python, .NET, and all of that, which is again it's going to help them, when they take up an opportunity in any of the IT related jobs, right? So that is what. So we have to change our curriculum, in colleges, that they have to adapt the latest technology, include that into the modules, and train them in that, so that when they come out of college, and they're readily available, and they're ready to face any situations, given a from day one itself. Because see, any company for that matter, we would, after hiring, we would put them in training for almost, we would spend a lot on them for training them for 1 or 6 months to 1 year before they could actually be put on the road. So that we actually doing right now. But what I'm trying to say is that when these technologies are coming in, and that is being included in the curriculum, right, they will be able to adapt it easily, and they will be able to relate to it, because real time doing it for the clients are going to be challenging, because not everybody will have an opportunity to learn while they're working. So once you start up or take up a job, your learning would become reduced, because you will have delivery side of the things, that you will have to focus on your day-to-day work rather than learning a newer or getting adapted to newer technologies. So since I'm addressing this crowd of lecturers, right, I would suggest that you you bring in this curriculum to adapt latest technologies to the students, and bring in those modules into your teaching schedules, and train them in the latest technology, so that when they complete their education, they're ready to take up jobs which are expecting them to deliver from day one. It is going to be a real time challenge, but it is something which is doable, which can be done, which can be incorporated, which can be implemented. So I would suggest that everybody think through this and understand, how important this is to adapt technology to make people aware of it, embrace the technology, and utilize it to the best of the effort, so that they can give their best, and it is basically, see, for their career as well, right? If they are well versed in the latest technologies in the market, they they're going to get hired easily. Their possibilities of getting into a job with a decent package would be higher when compared to people who don't adapt to the latest technologies, when they lag behind, right? In competition, when it comes to competition, right? When it comes to interviews and all of that, clearing an interview, obviously nobody is going to compromise on that. The expected results, if you don't see a person performing well in a particular interview, not nobody is going to take that person for a role, right? So everybody wants their best. So if a project manager or delivery manager is looking in for a newcomer who's going to join their team, they want that person to be uh, to some extent, they should have, obviously training would be given, but what I'm trying to say is they should be able to have basics of that, be it coding or be it other relevant stuff, right? To various technologies that I'm talking about. They should have, basically they have to have the basics. They have to set their basics right, and if they have additional uh, you know trainings done during the course of their education, if they have done trainings other than whatever being expected or whatever being taught in college, if they have hands-on experience as well, right, it will help them settle down in a job and make that as their career. Why I'm saying this is that, in our organization itself, if you have seen people who have joined as a trainee or a campus recruit, has taken up positions like a global lead, and they have gone to that extent where they have attained the topmost position in the organization. So it is hard to believe, because it is hard to believe because we have, I mean, crossed 30 plus years in the industry, and we have people who had sticked on with us from day one. So we need to say we have people who have 30 plus years of experience, and that all of their IT experience is with Cognition. So that is the work culture and that we follow in our organization, and that makes them to stay. No matter if they get a better opportunity, it's not always about your remuneration, right? It's always about you know what what is best for you and what works for you, and also the work culture, right? That you have to feel that you belong to that place, and whatever you want to be heard. It is not like, if it's a junior person and they're not going to have fresh ideas, or they will not have breakthrough ideas. It's just not like that. So we at our organization, we ensure that we stay on top, and we give opportunities to everybody, and everybody, we will listen to them, and we will make them that we will understand what they have to say. We will listen. We will ensure that we work as a team. It's not like individuals. When it comes to organizations, it is a teamwork. End of the day, that's going to play a role. But at the same time, yeah, individual responsibilities and individual contribution roles would be there. But end of the day, it is all going to be teamwork, because end of the day, you will all be part of a team, right? So that is what I'm trying to say here. It is basically we have to adopt technology, and we have to understand it, and the work culture, the companies that adopt these technologies has to bring in that type of work culture where learning is imperative, and and it is mutual, right? So you learn something from a different department, be it legal department, be it HR, or be it cyber security department. So we have a lot that can be shared and taught and in exchange between our departments. Like initially or the starting of this session, Bala was talking about we have people from different technologies and different departments who are part of this session. So since Bala is part of the IT department, he will be able to understand and relate more about this context and more about these training sessions. And likewise, right? I'm not saying other departments and you will not have knowledge about it, but it is basically that you have to know what other department does, and it is good because you never know, right? You're not going to stay in one particular area or focus one particular area and be an expert in that and leave about others. Rest you cannot ignore them as well at the same time, because see, you have a lot of opportunities to grow in an organization. So if you stick on to one particular area, right, you will be left alone because you will not have networking, and you would not know if the other area that you do not belong to would have an opportunity coming up. But if you are not aware of what is happening in the other side of the business, you would be left behind. So it is basically, excuse me, what I'm trying to say here is that embracing technology, learning and unlearning things are you have to make that as a habit, and you have to spend time for it. You will have to dedicate at least an hour a day would help to learn something new. So you have to you know understand, you have to promise yourself that today I'm going to learn something new. Today I'm going to learn what is artificial intelligence is. So today I'm going to learn what immigration policies are. How does that work, and how does that matter, and how is it relevant to me in terms of going for an on-site opportunity. You would know, like, you should be knowing that what are the immigration policies are, how can I get a visa, and what are the formalities involved in that, what are the applications that I have to submit, and what is the time frame, what is the duration that is going to take for me to get the visa. So all of that is very, very general information, but it is good to know because you might not know tomorrow. It might be of use for you. So if you get to know what other departments are doing, it is going to improve your knowledge. And you might not know, you might be working with that other department in future. So if you know that what that department does, it is easier for you to take up that role and handle that team as such, so that they will respect you. And I'm not talking about in detail, but you have to have an understanding of various department within your organization and what it does and how technology helps them in doing that better. So that is basically what I was saying is in general, these things, how it works and all of that. So let's the next topic that I want to discuss about is the key terminologies and meanings which we use with when it comes to artificial intelligence and machine learning. So basically, the next topic that I'm going to cover is that is LLM, which stands for a large language model. So basically, what you just have to understand LLM and what it does. That's about it. You don't have to go in depth and know about it. You just have to understand LLM is a terminology which is used which is basically used in Chat GPT. So now that everybody knows what Chat GPT is, I would relate it with Chat GPT, which is LLM is a language model which is developed by OpenAI, and like I said earlier, Chat GPT would understand conversational context. So I said about the example of India's capital, New Delhi, right? So that is something which Chat GPT does through LLM. So LLM is the brain behind how a chat GPT responds. So to put it in a simpler way, it would understand natural language. So when I say natural language, right, be it the text language that I'm talking about. So in chat GPT, while you're using that, right, if you type in something, it is going to give you the results. But if you going to type again, which is relevant to the previous context, it is going to still give you the same. It is going to understand the previous query that you've asked, and it is going to give you the relevant output that you're looking for. So how does it do that? It uses large language model and the data that is being stored into that before, and the amount of training of data that is being stored into that. Based on that, it is going to fetch you the results. So, like I said earlier, it is if something that is very recent that you're going to ask to ChatGPT, it might not give you the accurate results, but it will, give it will definitely throw you some output, but it is not going to be accurate. But if it is a past data that you're going to ask to ChatGPT, if it's something which is not very recent, then obviously you're going to get the correct, the accurate results for that. So basically, ChatGPT works on LLM, which is a large language model, which is the technology used behind it, and basically this is with particular to the text model, and the basic concept is that it understands natural language, so it understands human language, to put it in a easier, in a simpler way. It understands what we talk. So basically, it converts the languages, the query that we ask, because right, very well, that the systems won't understand text language. It has to be in numbers. So basically, what it does is that it creates algorithms of the text, and then it converts that into numbers, and then it will pass on to the layers, and then it will give you the text output that you are looking for. So how does it do that? There is another version, there is another subsect of LLM which helps ChatGPT to give that exact result that we want to know, what anybody wants to know. If anybody has a query, you ask something to, if for example, if you type in what is AI in ChatGPT, it will give you a lot of responses, pointers with pointers, that artificial intelligence is this, and these are the subsets, these are what it is. But one by reading that, not a layman would understand what it is all about. So you have to know uh, the basics about it, so that you will get to understand what the advanced part of these things are, right? Moving on to from LLM, the next thing that I want to take you through is prompt engineering. Okay, basically this is again, these are key terminologies. You might call it as jargons, or you might call it as IT terms and all of that. But basically, these are the terminologies that you are going to hear it in your any session, for that matter, with regards to AI and machine learning. This is what that they want to take you through in their session. So prompt engineering, like the word prompt, right? It is basically nothing but you're prompting something when you're typing something in Google. For example, if you're typing, you want to know which are the best places to visit at, during December. So you're typing that text, and that is called a prompt. So anything that you type uh, in any of the form of text in any of the tools, it prompts you to it prompts and it will give you the results based on what you type in. So that is basically what prompt engineering is all about. It is based on the actual data that is being keyed in. It is considered as a prompt, and it will give you the results based on that. So any for example, ChatGPT is using this large language model, as well as prompt engineering as well, in their technology to to make sure that you get the exact results that you're looking for. So, that's basically it. Prompt engineering is nothing but whatever that you key in, it prompts you to give you the results, or that particular tool will throw in the output in forms of uh, what you're expecting from it, right? So that is basically what prompt engineering is about. And that is again a technology used in AI. So you just have to understand that, and we will have to, have a separate session to understand it better, because I will not be able to cover that in an 1.5 hour session, right? So it is a huge topic by itself, and it has to, probably I would need more time to you know hover around that and make you guys understand what it is all about, and then see you in depth of to get to know what is what it is, and in detail. So probably, in our next sessions to come, like, we will be able to cover on these topics in detail. So basically, I think I have covered most of the topics that I intended to take you through this session today. So what I would do is, now that we have a few more minutes, and since I have joined in late, I would want to do a small recap of what we have seen today during this session. So basically, what we discussed in this session is, how machine learning and artificial intelligence. Basically, we have seen the introduction of what artificial intelligence is, and what are the technologies, what are the areas it can help us, excuse me, it can help industries, and where we can use it, which I quoted an example as well, right, in the medical field, to understand a particular disease or diagnose. Because see, not I mean, everybody would have had the experience of seeing a doctor, and initially, you would have gone for some problem, but end of the day, the diagnosis would not have been done properly, because of which your problem would not have been resolved. So you will take a second opinion. You will go to a different doctor, and you will you will want to know whether the diagnosis done by the previous doctor was correct, because your problem still remains, right? So what I'm trying to say is, it is basically a human would have done, and an expert, a doctor would have diagnosed, done the diagnosis based on the symptoms that you would have given him, right? And also various test results that he would have gone through, or he would ask you to take, and based on that, he would have, arrived on a particular disease. So, so when we use artificial intelligence, right, uh, it will help doctors to make a better decision based on the results, right? See, because uh, if you see the reports, right, there would be a lot of things that has been there in the report, but not everybody would have time. You know, the doctors would not have gone through that entirely, the entire set of data that has been provided to them. But when we apply artificial intelligence into that, when we put in a tool to to simplify or give you a precise information that, if this is what it is, and this is uh, the symptom that the patient is having, it will narrow down to a particular output, which would definitely help the doctor to make a precise decision, so that doctor cannot go wrong. I mean, the diagnosis would be much better and faster when they apply technology, in these teams. But yeah, but again, yeah, like I said, there are ethics and compliance, and we cannot bypass any procedures that needs to be done, especially when it comes to medical sciences and medical industry, be it pharmaceutical industry and all of that, because they have a lot of regulatory authorities, who would be checking on that, right? I mean, various areas. So that is how artificial intelligence is going to help in various fields. I just quoted an example with regards to medical, but it is being adapted in various other industries, and it has provided results, and it is going to change the way we look at things. So it is definitely going to help improve, the way we look at work. So it is definitely going to, make everybody's life easier. So that we have seen, and the next thing that we have looked at is machine learning. It is basically, machine learning is nothing but, training or making a robot, or or feeding in the data into a robot, and expecting to reduce the manual intervention and do the job in a faster and much more cost effective and accurate way. So machine learning would do that, in various industries that has been implemented, and we have seen the output. Because see, the difference between, machine learning and programming is that, like I said, it doesn't need actually, programming. So it is based on it works based on the, algorithms and models. So if we key in, or provide the algorithms and models, then it will definitely going to fetch you the results, which is again, cost factor come into play here. It is not going to cost you as much as, uh, you know implementing any other technology or the previous technologies that we used to do, in the IT industry or various other industries for that matter. So implementing this is also cost effective. At the same time, it is going to be accurate, and it is going to save a lot of time. So that is going to definitely help. And we have seen, the next topic that was covered is deep learning, which works on, based on the, human brain, which is, nothing but the neurosystems. So how does the human brain work? Similarly, deep learning is a concept, advanced form of machine learning, which is basically, for your understanding, it has got a lot of layers in it. And when we give an input layer, it is going to, pass through a different layers and various layers, and it is going to give the output layer. So that is, so you all that you have to remember is that, deep learning is nothing but it's the advanced form of machine learning, and the concept used behind deep learning is human brain concept of neurons. And like I said, in deep learning, it will have multiple layers to it, and, it is also cost effective, and it is a subset of AI. So just have this in mind, keep this in mind, that deep learning is a subset of artificial intelligence, and it works based on human brain, how a human brain works, right? It is similarly, that is the the concept which is used behind deep learning, which is again, a part of a subset of artificial intelligence. And the next thing what we have covered today is that it is generative AI. So the word itself says that, gives out the meaning, which is generative in nature, which generates new results. It is not something which is already there. So, this is something which is very amazing, right? Which is amuses everybody, because it is something which is, which you would have not seen in the past, until we know, this has been in existence for last couple of years, right? So we started to adapt it, and it is everywhere now. So this has been, utilized, in various industries. So what it does is, it doesn't, it is very different from conventional AI, because it gives you new output. It is not something which is already there that it brings you, or provides you with. It generates output. It creates new things. It creates newer versions, and better versions, and better or new output as such. So I quoted an example with regard to Gen AI tool, right? It is basically Copilot, which is the OpenAI of Microsoft, which I'm sure that in education industry also this can be utilized to create contents and to ensure that we put in the right I mean we get the right results and we can use that. So that is basically what generative AI is all about. It generates new content, information. It helps you with whatever that you might. I mean, a human would struggle with, right? I mean, obviously, anybody would due to oversight, we tend to create mistakes. So to avoid that, I'm not saying that we are not perfect, but I'm saying that if at all you have the slightest of doubts, like you can always adopt technology, you utilize it to the maximum and get the benefits out of it. So I would want people to start using people in this forum, right, to start using Copilot, so that they know what it does and it helps them to a great extent, right? So please start doing that. And and the last thing that we have seen is the terminologies that is being used basically in AI and ML in machine learning. It is basically like I said, I quote ChatGPT as an example that works on large language model. That is the model developed by OpenAI, which is you just have to understand it is conversational context. It is not any text context. It is basically conversational context, which means that it understands a conversation than a particular sentence or a word. So Chat GPT has that advantage over other conventional AIs, where it understands what a person is trying to talk about, not making them repeat again. So something that you are asking, and to continue with that, and your the next query is on which would be a continuation of the first question that you had asked. It goes back into that previous conversation context, and it will understand what the query is all about. It will relate it to the previous question, and it will bring you the output, which would be the favorable one, which will be accurate, and which will be the exact thing that you're looking for. Not it will not make you repeat everything from the beginning. So that is the advantage that we have in ChatGPT or OpenAI. In other words, I would say than conventional AI tools that we have been using before the introduction of Gen AI. So how it does that? It understands natural language. So that is how it does that. It understands natural language, and it understands what you type in. It understands and it responds accordingly. And it also, the advantage over conventional AI, what uh, generative AI has, is that it is able to understand the conversational context. That is the advantage. So that is how it is able to provide you with the exact results that you're looking for. So in short, you don't have to repeat what you're going to ask, and whatever that you're going to keep asking, it is not going to go back to your previous. It is not going to make you repeat what the question is. It will continue from where you have left. So it is easier for you, right? It saves a lot of time and energy. You don't have to repeat what you have been asking, and you get the exact output that you're looking for. So rather than you going back and seeing your previous text that you typed in, it gives you the exact result. And the last thing that we have seen today is prompt engineering, which is a vast context by itself. And like I said, we would not be able to cover it in today's session, but hopefully when we have sessions like this in future, I probably we would have this covered during that session. And I think we have already past the time schedule for this session, and people I appreciate you would have other things that you have planned up for for you guys to do. So I would really like to thank everybody for taking time out of your busy schedules and pitching in today to understand about the about technology, about AI, about generative AI and all of that, and about HPC as such as a whole. So I believe that this session has helped you at least to understand what generative AI is and what artificial intelligence is. And I would like I said, there are various topics that we have covered during this session, and I want you guys to have a takeaway and think through whatever that we have discussed today with regards to the topics that we covered, and not leave it at this. I want everybody to go the next step and learn advanced generative AI and artificial intelligence, and do some online research over it, try and understand how it works and how it can be implemented to make our lives easier. So with that note, I would take a pause and I would want to know, like, since we had 2 day sessions. The only thing is that I was not able to share, like I said in the previous context, right? All the mails or contents that I'm sharing is quarantined, and there is a lot of things tagged to that. So it was not easier for me as such, because being a work, it's a working day today for us. So I'm simultaneously doing my work tasks as well. So I'm sorry that I was not able to share the content, but thank you for everybody for your time and patiently listening to whatever that I've covered today uh, in this session, and looking forward to such meaningful sessions in the future. And like I said, there are a lot of topics that we covered for you to think through and implement it. Please do that, and all the best on whatever endeavors that you're going to take up in future, and stay on top of whatever you do, and embrace technology. And with that note, I would like to thank you all once again for giving me this opportunity to at least give you some insights on what AI is and what ML is all about. Thank you, everybody, for patiently listening into me in this session. Looking forward to such sessions in future. Thank you all.
Sir, very thankful for your wonderful presentation, sir. It is really very useful, and you have given also the culture which is followed with your organization CTS, and how disciplined it is. Really, sir, we'll take up steps towards learning new things, irrespective of the domain, sir. I have only one question. Are you offering any courses on AI like what Infosys Springboard is offering? Could you hear me, sir?
Yes, Bala.
Because now Infosys is offering some AI courses in the name of Springboard. Are you offering any such courses?
I can find out, but to my understanding or to my knowledge, we are having tie-up with right, you must have heard about Udemy, various online platforms which offers you courses. So we have tie-up for our employees, but for outsiders, I am not pretty sure because we have internal Cognizant Academy who trains us, provide us with training modules on various technologies. So that is focused on internal employees. But if you are asking from an outsider standpoint, I do not have an answer now, but I can still find out, how or what type of offers that we are what type of tie-ups that we have with vendors, third-party vendor companies to provide such sort of training, which you have told, right? Springboard training is provided by Infosys. Like similarly, there must be some sort of vendor parties that we have tie-up with, but Sorry, I have limited knowledge on that, but I can definitely find out and come back to you on this, Bala.
So no issue, sir. Thanks a lot on behalf of everyone. Irrespective of your hectic schedule, you could make up, this session, and you touched upon, various basic key concepts about generative AI, that too also, deep learning, and also prompt engineering, etc. Thank you so much, sir. Really, it was a mind-blowing session. We'll be looking forward to similar sessions from you. Thank you so much.
Sure, my pleasure, Bala.